Hello guys, in the last video we saw that how to define complex properties and read these complex values from the from your application using some configuration classes. Now let's use this and define uh, write a code to read CORS mapping, right? CORS mapping directly, CORS configuration directly from the properties file. So Spring by default doesn't give any way to define properties, CORS properties from the application.properties file. So let's write it, write our own. Let me create an application, Spring Start project first, then Spring Custom CORS configuration from properties file. Alright, and then CORS configuration. Let's next. We don't need much. Let's put DevTools. We don't even need DevTools, right? So let's add web. That's it. So we got our application here. Now let's add some folders, empty folders to this. Yeah, we got the folders. Now let's add a configuration class to read the read values CORS configuration from the properties file. Let's name it as CORS properties, right? So let's annotate this with add component at configuration properties prefix. Let's add a prefix. Prefix will be wise tab CORS, right? CORS. Now let's add a list of hash map here. List of hash string, and then let's add mappings, and then array list. Let's take this, put it here. Right now let's add getters and setters. We got our configuration class ready that will read the properties from the application properties file. Now let's add a configuration class, CORS configuration. Okay, let's annotate this with add configuration. Now let's define a bean, right? Let's define a bean, public web MVC configurer, CORS config, right, return new web MVC configurer. Right now in this web MVC configurer we override a method called public void. Let's see, let's go here, add CORS mapping registry, right? So alright, now we first let's auto-write the CORS property object. CORS properties, we iterate through the list of mappings for CORS properties. So let's say CORS properties dot get mappings dot for each mapping, right? For each mapping I will just CORS registration, import this, right? And then we go for registry dot add mapping. Add mapping would be mapping dot get key. First let's put a path here. So we got the registration object. Now for this particular path, whatever the configuration is, we are going to add those configuration also. So let's take mapping dot get, let's say allowed origins, origins, sorry, and then let's check if it is not null and isn't and not blank. Dot. Alright, so if it is not null and if it is not blank, we take the registration object dot allowed origins. Right, we set the allowed origins, and then we do mapping dot get origins. Similarly, we do for other configuration values also. So let's go for allowed headers, allowed methods. Let's go for allowed methods first. Allowed methods, and then let's go for allowed headers, and then let's go for, after allowed headers, let's go for allowed origin. Allowed origin patterns. And then after allowed origin patterns, let's go for allowed credentials. Right, and then finally we have we are getting some error here. Let's see what is the error. Allow credentials. So allow credential is an integer, sorry, boolean value. So we need to pass this boolean dot pass boolean, and then we add allow credentials. Let's change the key to allow credentials. Okay, these are the CORS properties. Yeah, if by default Spring doesn't allow you to, Spring doesn't have any way to define these properties in the application properties file. So we are writing a custom configuration here, and we will add these properties directly from the properties file. So we have this right now. We go for this path. Let me copy this and then paste it here, and then because the prefix was y-step CORS. So y-step CORS dot mapping dot let's make it a 0 path, and in this path let's add hello, and then y. Similarly, we will be adding all the properties, right, and then we will add allowed origins. Okay, and then we will add allowed methods, then we'll add allowed headers, allowed origin patterns, and then allowed credentials. But you can add all these properties like this. So let's comment these two. Let's add this allowed origins, let's say localhost 8080, and allowed methods, let's say get comma post. So on this hello mapping, only get and post will be allowed, and only for cross-origin requests only from this localhost 8080 will be allowed. Let's try to run this. Before, let's try to print this somewhere. So we have CORS properties here. Let's add a toString method. Let's take this CORS properties in a controller, right? Or we don't need controller. Let's just print it here. This out. This out, and then we have CORS properties. All right, now let's try to run this. Yeah, a different application was started. So let's stop this and run this application. Right, let's input. Right, the mappings, we don't have any mappings here. Let's see. Yeah, we are missing this. Now let's restart this. See the CORS properties here, mapping hello, allowed origins, and allowed methods. So this is how you can define your CORS properties directly from the configure your CORS directly from the properties file, application.properties. Not only the hello mapping, you can put other mappings also. Let me put other mappings also. Let's say I mapping, and then here let's say I'm accepting only request from origin 8088, and then let's say I want to the post method or get method for this. And then let me change the index. So let me restart. Yeah, see, we got a CORS configuration for hello mapping, and we got CORS configuration for hi mapping.